All right, guys, let's check out this very interesting Rado DiaStar Original. So this is a watch, kind of like a reissue from the brand, I believe 1962, something like that. If I'm just kind of trying to remember what the heck I read, but yeah, it's a smaller watch, but there's a lot of really funky stuff going on here. So before we get into that, let's say thank you to Joe for sharing this watch with us, and let's get into the specs. So 35 millimeter case, 39 lug to lug. If you measure the full length of the top to bottom, it's like 42.8. It's only 11.5 millimeter thick. That's from the solid case back to the faceted sapphire crystal. Yeah, check that out. We'll do a close-up on that. Has an 18 millimeter lug width, and it's weighing in at 110 gram in its current configuration here. So the watch head on this is actually a little bit heavier. I'm not sure exactly what is done or if it's fully tungsten, but it's advertised as hard metal. And I can tell it's like heavier than it looks like it should be for its size. So I'm pretty sure it's actually tungsten because it's actually like scratch. I don't know if anything's scratch proof, but it seems like it's highly scratch resistant, if not scratch proof. And I know this thing has been worn, and if we look up close on this, there are no scratches on this. So there's something awesome going on. And even just the way the finishing is on it, it's really wild the way it catches light and everything. But check out that faceted sapphire crystal. That thing is wild. Yeah, I'm definitely digging that. You don't see it too much on watches, and understandably, because it really, when it catches the light, it really makes it slightly difficult to read. This one still seems like I don't have a problem reading it, regardless of the light refractions off the case and the crystal. But man, this thing is just so wild. And then you can see you have jeweled indexes. You have the hour and minute hand a little bit shorter to make room for all that funny, cool looking stuff. The little Rado anchor up there also does rotate, as you can see. Nice little trick there. And then you can see it's a day date stacked at the 6. And you have the white wheel for the day and the black wheel with the white print for the date. So that's pretty cool as well. Some of the earlier models, they use the ETA 2836 or the Rado 648. I threw this one on the time grapher, which it runs perfect, by the way. And it's beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. So I'm fairly certain this is the 80-hour power reserve, like we have seen many times, like the H movements, we call them, in the Hamiltons. It's actually just a newer ETA model that slows it down a little bit, gives it 6 beats per second, and increases the power on it. So 80-hour power reserve. Take a look at this bracelet here. Nice, fine. It's all rolled. So it's, I mean, a fairly inexpensive make of a bracelet, but it is very comfortable, and love the clasp. I'm a big fan of that very cool clasp that Rado does on a few different watches. Just a simple fold over, and you can see there it says the original. Just a very simple, but check this out. I mean, look at that spring-loaded micro adjust. And the tension on that is very soft. So it's not going to feel uncomfortable when your wrist goes like that and it takes up some of that micro adjust. It is going to be very comfortable, trust me. So let's pop this guy on wrist. Before I do that, here's a look at the case back. I better zoom in so you can actually see it. So Rado DiaStar original, Swiss made, 764 whatever, water resist, 30 bar, or 30 meter, 3 bar, excuse me. So push-pull crown on it. Has a very tiny crown, so it's a little tricky to like wind it if you want to hand wind it and all that stuff. But if you got a little bit of fingernail, you can go ahead and pop that out. You can hack the movement, adjust the time on it. I mean, it's tiny crown, guys, so it's difficult to play with for sure. So let me pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. It is not perfectly sized for my wrist, but there you go. That's what a 35 millimeter Rado looks like on my 7.25 inch wrist. So, I mean, anybody could wear this. It is just, it wasn't that long ago, guys, that this size watch was the norm. So when you have a reissue from 1962, this is what size they were. Could they have increased it, you know, to modernize it for this day and time? Yeah, and they maybe would have sold more too, but it wouldn't be like authentic to what they were actually doing. So I'm actually glad to see that they did it this way. Retail price on this one is $750. I found it on Joma Shop for $520, so there are deals out there, but they seem like they're getting bought up. There's the hang tag on it. Yeah, I think I covered just about everything. There is another model I found when looking it up that was like $1,100 or $1,200. I don't know what the difference is because they look identical. If you go to Rado's website, I'll put a link to that in the description and then you can check them out. And I think when they originally came out with these, there was only 2 different ways you could get it. Basically, you got it in, I think, stainless steel or you got it in gold. I think that's what it was. So now with the tungsten and being scratch resistant or scratch proof is pretty cool. And a totally different look and feel. I would like to see some more tungsten watches, honestly. I know they're out there. I think there's somebody in my Discord. Who was that? Somebody in my Discord showed they have a tungsten Invicta. And he says it's really heavy. He actually had to take the bracelet off it because I think the bracelet was actually tungsten as well. So hopefully I can see some more watches that are made out of this material because this is very cool. Different look, different effect versus stainless steel polished. Has a interesting reflection. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next vid. I'm not going to do a loom shot. There's a little bit on the hour and minute hands. Not worth shutting the lights off for. I'll see you guys on the next vid.